Now, in the comments of our most recent deck profile video, you can go ahead and check that out if you want the deck profile. That is actually in this Neos Hero tutorial playlist. So this will also be included. You go check that deck list out. But a lot of you guys have been asking, yo, D-Time, what? D-Time, what? Show us lit combos. Show us how this deck works. Show us how this deck functions. I mean, duels are nice. We can go ahead and go over to D-Time Duels if you guys want to see this deck in action and duel. But show us step-by-step tutorial on how this deck works. And that is today's video. Sole Objection aims out to do for you guys. Michael Bowden back here once again. And I am your host, Destiny Hero Mike. And welcome back, baby, to D-Time. We're here, baby. It's always D-Time. And in more ways than one. And before we get started, guys, I just need one small favor from you guys. Go ahead and give this video a thumbs up and comment in the comment section down below. It's D-Time! Or whatever else you want, in addition to whatever else you may or may not comment. Up to you. Really appreciate it. Helps us get us going in the algorithms. It helps the algorithm choose favoritism. And I say if the algorithm is going to choose favoritism over a channel, it might as well be D-Time, because it's always D-Time. Really appreciate you guys. And as always, thank you guys so much to the D-Time channel memberships. So much love to you guys. Thank you guys for supporting this channel, and everything that you guys put into this channel goes into the channel, so we can keep pumping out these delicious D-Time videos. Really appreciate you guys. Of course, go if you want to see. We got two decks in action. We've got the normal Omni Hero deck, as well as the Neos deck over at D-Time Duels in action. There will be more uploads coming probably Friday, so be on the lookout for that. We upload weekly over there at D-Time Duels. It's always a good time over there. Really appreciate you guys. Now, let's hop on into the deck's objective, okay? So let's go ahead and throw that up there. Let's go. I'm just put this to the side. So, you guys want to know how this deck works. So, the deck, all it really wants to do, let's just a quick overview. Now, we're going to do some test hands. We're going to do a walkthrough, okay? But all this deck wants to do is just resolve this guy's effect. The new Flame Wingman Infernal Rage. That's all we're trying to do. That's all we're trying to get to. And now it's easier than ever. We have so many different ways in the polymerization, i.e. Blazeman and or Engage Neo space. But this is the ideal card to start with. If you can summon the Spirit of Neos through Ian Shuffle or Crosskeeper to get into this, it's still worth it. This card is going to be your main starter, and what it does is, let's go ahead and start. We're gonna do a basic walkthrough on what this board, because this is already combo this card here, and this could either be Shadow Mist or even a Neospatian. We're just using Shadow Mist for example. So we're gonna go ahead and start off with Engage Neospace. Remember, we're locked out of Blink Summoning Monsters, okay? For the remaining of the turn that we activate this, not remainder, just period point blank. So we go and Engage Neospace, send a hero from our hand, E-hero from our hand, and a Neospatian. One from deck, one from the hand as cost. Now the good thing about this is that if this does get Ash Blossom, at least our Shadow Mist can start in a new chain link. So it's so good, it's layers on layers. But if this does not get Ash Blossom, man, they are in for a doozy, because now this is basically Neos' A Hero Lives, but even better, we don't have to pay any life points. So then we're going to summon our boy, if we have not already in the turn, Spirit of Neos. And then, in addition, with Engage Neospace, if we do this in Resolution, mandatory, we must add polymerization from either deck or bonus graveyard from the to the hand. So, you know, if you have no more polymerizations, let's say you're in like mid or late game, grind game or something like that, and both of your polymerizations are in your graveyard, you can add one of them, and you can resolve it and add one of them from the graveyard back. This immediately sets you up for fusion, which is absolutely insane. Now we start a new chain link. We have our polymerization. Now we start a new chain link with Elemental Hero Spirit of Neos and the Shadow Mist. Now I would recommend Spirit of Neos being chain link 1 just to help chain block. It's just good practice because he's going to get you your Neos fusion. Now one thing I want to say, that if in your hand, because we only started with 2 cards, okay? If in your hand you already had a Neos fusion, because you're playing 3, so it's pretty common to draw it, what you would add is your protection of the elements. But we're gonna get into that later. But we're not gonna add this yet. That's a little bit more complex. That's if we already started with Neil's Fusion in hand. If the hand was just that broken. But in most of the time, we're gonna go ahead. If we didn't get the Neil's Fusion, which is insane because Arm Neil's is like pretty much set play. We're gonna get to that guy here in a bit. Add the Neil's Fusion, and then in resolution, add with Shadow Mist, add our hero. Boom, Stratos. So, and that's assuming we didn't get hit by Joel and Logbird by the time this card added our polymerization in the previous chain link. So that's assuming there's no Joel and Logbird. So we added our Stratos, we added our Neil's Fusion, and we got our polymerization. Look at this. That's just off of 2 cards. We have 4 cards on the field off of 2 cards. We just literally went what plus 2? Crazy, right? So now we're gonna, and we send Dark Panther because in turn 1 he doesn't do much versus a Grand Mole is probably better to keep him because he's able to get over something or bounce something back. So it's just preference. I personally like to send the Dark Panther. Next thing we're gonna do, we're gonna go ahead and normal summon the Elemental Stratos and add our hero from deck to hand. So we're gonna go ahead and get our Liquid Soldier. So really good. And then next thing we're gonna do is we're gonna use Spirit of Neos to tag himself back. That's why this card is just so good, because we're gonna always have access to Vanilla Neos. And by the way, if you're in some sort of weird situation, Engage Neospace can summon Vanilla Neos. And if you do summon Vanilla Neos from Engage Neospace, he gains an additional 1000 attack power permanently. So you can bring out a 35 attack power monster from your deck and plus a polymerization from your deck if you're in some sort of weird situation. Some sort of skill, if you're under skill drain, there you go. Okay, literally, this is our out to skill drain. I just realized that. And you're just beating people up with a 35 beat stick under skill drain, bro. Oh my goodness, this card is insane. Let's just... the deck just keeps getting better and better. Or is it Cope? Is it Copium, guys? The deck just keeps getting better and better. Then we summon our Elemental Hero Neos. Boom. Next thing we're going to do is polymerization between... We want to use our Liquid Soldier and our Vanilla Neos. Boom, send those to the graveyard. So, boom. We're going to summon our boy, Flame Wingman Infernal Rage. Now, by now, since, since they didn't ash this, we can pretty much assume there's no ash at this point. I'm not gonna go too ham with the chain blocking here because we started with Engage Neospace and there was no ash. This card must be ashed. So then we have Liquid Soldier Chainlink 1 to draw 2, discard 1, and then the Infernal Rage to add our favorite contact trap card from the deck to our hand. So here it is. And then we're gonna go ahead and 2 random cards, let them cut, draw 2, discard 1. It's pretty common to draw something like a Hero Lives. So let's see. I want to keep Hero Lives in hand. Excuse me. Because this is a really good discard card. Either this or the Cross Keeper, which we didn't draw, is a really good discard card. So discard it and shuffle. Right, perfect, right? Then what we're gonna do is we're gonna use the Infernal Rage since we used our normal monster in the Neos for a fusion material. Tripping them off for cost. Summon our Elemental Hero Sunrise, and then our Elemental Hero Sunrise. I'm just showing you guys the set play before the test hand. Our Elemental Hero Sunrise is going to add the Miracle Fusion from deck to hand. Okay. Boom. Add Miracle Fusion from deck to hand. Okay, feels great. And yeah, look at all this advantage we have. There's so much we can do. There's a lot that we can do here. Pretty crazy. Now, we have a choice. Depends on the matchup. There's a lot we can do with Miracle Fusion. We have a couple options. If we choose to activate it, we can either hold it this turn, hold it for follow-up. There's that option. It all depends on what you want to do and how you feel. If you have a protection of the elements, if you had access to that, this is not consistent. It's not like set play, but it's set play if you have Neil's Fusion, and it's set play in a perfect hand. So we don't immediately count a protection of the elements, but if you have it, you can literally just go ahead and Miracle Fusion, banish your Infernal Rage and your water monster to summon something like an Absolute Zero, and then set the protection of the elements or whatever, however you want to do it. Then you, after you're done with all your summoning, you can Neos Fusion and go ahead and send your Neos and your Armed Dragon, and you're gonna go ahead and summon your Armed Neos. So that's how you summon Armed Neos. A lot of you guys have been asking, yo, how do I summon Armed Neos? That's how you do it. And also what Armed Neos does, if it kills something in battle during the following turn, you're going to go ahead and tribute it off during the main phase. You're able to gain the effect or tribute off to summon any elemental hero from your extra deck, usually the Cosmo Neos, in their main phase, and summon it and shut them off. So that's how you bring out Armed Neos, Cosmo Neos. And that's why in this build, it is not required that we play 3 Neospatians, because we are playing, literally, this is a 1 card. Think of this card as a 1 card Regeki plus Cosmo Neos. It's a 1 card. Absolutely crazy. They really solved that problem. But back to the Miracle Fusion play, we're getting ahead of ourselves. That's if we have access to Protection of the Elements, then we're set, and then their turn. So that's if we have access to Protection of the Elements. But let's say that we don't, because we don't always do. That's in a perfect hand. It is our choice if we want to. So we're going back, we're backing it up, right? We're backing it up. We haven't used Neos Fusion. We're going to back it up. So, if in a perfect world, if in a perfect hand, or if we did not get the Protection of the Elements, we still have option for a Miracle Fusion if we want to go ahead and use that. Sometimes I'll save it, depends on how I feel. If I want an additional attribute for the destruction of the Absolute Zero, is still a great choice for the destruction of the Shining Neos. Or if you want to, I'm just giving you your options. You can Miracle Fusion in the same turn, right? Because it's still our turn 1, between the Infernal Rage and the Neos to bring out our first Shining Neos Wingman. And he's just a body and he's a threat. And he's indestructible. If we want to, while we have our Live 1 set, that's also an option. So, up to you what you want to do with Miracle Fusion. But you must, if you're going to do something with Miracle Fusion, make sure you do it before you activate your Neos Fusion. So, let's just say for this sake, we're just going to hold Neos Fusion, because we're going to leave that choice up to you, depending on the matchup and how you feel and all that. Go with your gut. Go with what feels best. So, the next step that we're going to do, Neos Fusion. Now, we're going to go ahead and send our Armed Dragon, whichever Armed Dragon of your choice. My choice is Dark Armed Dragon, because I like level 7 is perfect for me. That's just kind of like the way I like to play it. And then now we're going to go ahead and bring out our Armed Neos. Boom. And now, why do we do this? Is because, one, we have a wind. So we have we're going to have an additional pop target. We're going to have an additional pop requirement. Well, as well, because there's Stratos. That's if Stratos is not on the field, but still pretty good. But if we don't, in the event that there is no Stratos on the field, it's an additional wind type, which is good, which helps towards the count of Shining Neos Wingman. And he has protection. And also, by the time you bring out your Shining Neos Wingman is going to have additional protection under Neos Fusion. They're both going to have additional protection with each other. So that's how crazy that is. So that's why we do that. That's why we bring it out turn 1. And then because if they can't get over it, the turn 1, now they're in trouble, especially if they have a monster on the field. And the next thing we're going to do, before we end our turn now, you guys remember that Ian Shuffle we discarded? Now we're going to go ahead and banish it from the graveyard. And you guys see we have 2 Neos in the graveyard. So now we can put 1 back, shuffle 1 back, and draw 1 card. And it's just it's just so good, right? So even though the Ian Shuffle wasn't necessarily set play, just an example of what you can discard with the Liquid Soldier and the kind of setup you have. So this is just set play. This is not including other hand traps you may have, Void Breakers, Tech, protection of the elements. Go ahead and get that draw. Hey, Fusion deployment. Boom. Plenty of follow-up. We've got Miracle Fusion if we want to keep that follow-up. This is just a whatever card. This could be anything. That's just for demonstration purposes. Now we're good to go, and we have our interrupt, plus our follow-up, plus our protection. So that to me is very strong. So now we're gonna go ahead and get into a test hand and see exactly how it is that I would play it. Okay, so in this hand we are hoping to not completely brick. You guys see I'm just doing random shuffles as I'm doing this. So we're just gonna see we're gonna see what a realistic hand looks like, and let's see what happens if we don't draw engage Neospace. Let's see if we can find a way into it. Let's see if we don't draw the best hand, how can we deal with it. This is just test hand number 1 at least, so we'll see. If it's a good draw, if it's a good opening, we'll just stick with that. So, go ahead and cut, boom, standard cut, good luck, GG. Shake the opponent's hand and pray for the best. We're going first. Let's say we want the die roll. Let's go ahead and pick up 5. We already kind of have combo, guys. It's kind of crazy. We didn't want to draw that, but that's okay. Now we're absolutely crazy. Hopefully, come on, come on. We're in there. This hand is insane, guys. So, this hand is absolutely insane. So here's how I go about it. A lot of you now, you guys saw the set play. Let me show you guys how D-Time would play it in this hand. Let's see where we go from here. We already have the Neos Fusion. We have access to polymerization, right? We do want to be able to stop their spell or trap. So let's get into it. We're gonna go A Hero Lives, okay? We're gonna go A Hero Lives. We're gonna summon Elemental Hero Stratos, probably in attack mode. All right, let's see. Elemental Hero Stratos Search, and we're gonna add a hero from deck to hand. We're gonna add our Spirit of Neos, okay? Then what we're gonna do is we're gonna go ahead and go Crosskeeper, discard to special summon Spirit of Neos. Spirit of Neos effect to go add a spell or trap, a Neos spell or trap from deck to hand. Now at this point, if I want to, I absolutely can grab my engaged Neos space, but because I have access to polymerization, you're gonna see how in just a bit. I think we're gonna go ahead and try something a little different. We're gonna go ahead and add our protection of the elements. All right. So, and then we also still have our draw too through Crosskeeper. So we really don't need the Liquid Soldier. Then we're gonna go ahead and Rhoda. We're gonna add we have so many different ways in the polymerization, just like I was saying. Go ahead and add our Elemental Hero Blazeman from deck to hand. Then we're gonna go ahead and normal summon Blazeman and go ahead and search. Since we already have access to polymerization, we don't really need to get the engaged Neo space. It's just really best to open it, you know what I mean? But because we didn't open it, we have to see how we're gonna play through other means. So, boom, go ahead and cut that. And then now the only thing to do literally is the Spirit of Neos tag himself back. We have so many different ways. So now I'm just showing you how to use some of your other tools within the deck. Now we're gonna go ahead and go polymerization between Stratos because we already have. We're still gonna end with a wind monster on the board between Stratos and Liquid Soldier. 4. Boom, Infernal Rage, and then we're gonna do our Chain Link. So now we're gonna do Chain Link 1 Infernal Rage because let's say they're waiting to stop this guy, and then Chain Link 2 Crosskeeper. Go ahead and chain block that Ash, for example. It's just good practice. So you know they already cut, so we're gonna pick up 2, pull 1 to the bottom, and then we're gonna resolve our search with Infernal Rage. Oh man, this hand is absolutely crazy. The fusion deployment, we could literally fix our hand and put the dad back. That's how good the Crosskeeper is. There you go. Then we go ahead and tribute out. But even with the brick in hand, this was still crazy. Then we're going to tribute for Sunrise, and then we're going to go ahead and grab. This deck is crazy. You guys are seeing what I mean? So this deck is an insane standalone deck. Absolutely. Okay, so we already have the Neos. What do we want to do here? Because we can get an additional draw if we want. So it's up to us. This is a pretty decent attribute. But like I said, we're going to end with at least 2 attributes on the field. So, or maybe even 3. Because here's one decent thing that we can do. I'm just going to go to Ian Shuffle. Put back the Blazeman, right? We don't want to leave him out on attack mode. We paid half of our life points. So we're going to summon the Liquid Soldier off of Ian Shuffle, okay? Now we're just freestyling. We're gonna summon the Liquid Soldier off of Ian Shuffle, okay? Then we're gonna go ahead and Miracle Fuse away. Here it is, guys. The Liquid Soldier and somebody like the Infernal Rage. This is crazy, guys. You guys can't tell me it isn't. Absolute 0. And now because we used the Liquid Soldier as fusion material and we did not use his summon effect, we're gonna go ahead and draw 2, discard 1. This is crazy. Boom, cut, pick up 2, discard 1. That's also crazy. We're gonna discard since we already have Neos Fusion, discard the other Neos Fusion. Now this is live for protection in the graveyard. Absolutely crazy. Next thing we're gonna do is Neos Fusion. and we're gonna bring out that armed, see that sweet armed dragon that we put back, and the elemental hero Neos. Go ahead and summon our armed Neos. Boom. Okay. Now we have literally 2 live Neos fusions in the graveyard. But guess what? As far as we're still not done. Now we pop off Ian Shuffle. Ian Shuffle. Go ahead and put back our extra Neos. So good. And now the fusion deployment is live for the following turn. So is Crosskeeper. Crosskeeper can also summon a monster from the graveyard. Literally whatever beat stick that you can find in your graveyard. That's legally summonable. So go ahead and do that. And then we get our draw one. Another Ian Shuffle like we needed it. It probably would have been really good to have something like a Spirit of Neos in hand. But look, they're probably not even going to be getting a battle phase. Then we set a Protection of the Elements. And we set our favorite contact. Boom. And yeah, we go ahead and end our turn, and we look at that. 3 cards in hand, 2 back row, 3 monsters on the board. Yeah, we are susceptible to Nibiru, but Nibiru isn't real this format, not in my opinion, because it's a lot of sprite decks running around, a lot of different random decks running around. Same with Labyrinth, they don't summon 5, so we're gonna say that Nibiru is not real, at least not in main deck. But yeah, Protection of the Elements set up with absolute 0. We have 1, 2, 3. We have 3 different attributes from our end. So we're going to at least be popping 3 on the field with the favorite contact. We have plenty of follow-up. It's just crazy. Ian Shuffle into Spirit of Neos. There's just so much we could do. Instant Contact. Instant Contact is live with fusion deployment. There's just so much we can do there. And yeah, so if this was helpful to you guys, that's going to do it for today's video. But if this was helpful to you guys, I can't speak. It's the end of the video. Give this video a thumbs up. share this to somebody, especially if you guys, if you know somebody who's been wanting to play hero, or you know, maybe the normal Omni hero is too complicated with the Destiny heroes. This deck is a lot more simplified. So I really hope this has been helpful. Absolutely subscribe. I love you guys, and I'm gonna catch you guys in the next one.